You know, it's been a long time since we talked about Disney, and for good reason. Why bother? I mean, they're so boring to talk about at this point. It's not even fun to dunk on them because it's the same thing over and over. We know how atrocious a company they are. However, you want to know what is fun to talk about? Gina Carano, and there is some banging news in regards to her, because if you haven't heard, yeah, she's going to be allowed to continue with her lawsuit towards Disney as they failed to get it dismissed. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and yes, judge rejects Disney's motion to dismiss Gina Carano's wrongful termination lawsuit, says the House of Mouse, or as I prefer to call them, the House of Mouseschwitz, failed to set forth an impenetrable defense under the First Amendment. Ooh, this isn't an overall victory, but it is a battle won. There is still a chance Disney could win the lawsuit. There's still a chance he could get thrown out later, but as it currently stands, Disney tried to get it dismissed, and the judge said, go screw yourself, mouse boy, and I cannot wait to see where it goes from here. So we're going to get into this article. Before we can, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, rarely about Disney, but sometimes you just gotta talk about it. Look at this gorgeous woman right here. Oh, ultimate celebrity crush besides Ronda Rousey. In a major win for the former Star Wars actress, legal action against the House of Mouseschwitz, the judge overseeing the case has fully denied Disney's previous motion to dismiss the wrongful termination lawsuit filed against them by Gina Carano. Imagine being Disney. Imagine being the House of Mouseschwitz right now, coming up to this California judge with some of your 44 best lawyers in the country, the type that would probably get O.J. Simpson off, and in fact, get the killer, get the family of the woman murdered to pay him for the trouble. That's the type of lawyers that Disney got. And Gina was able to tell them, nah, screw that, we going all the way. And the judge took her side. The judge said, sorry, Disney, you haven't provided evidence as to why this should be dismissed. We're going to continue. That doesn't mean you won't win in the future. That doesn't mean this won't get thrown out later. But as it currently stands, you have failed at part 1. You failed level 1 of the video game. You failed the tutorial of the video game because you're just that incompetent. As previously reported in February, Carano, with the financial assistance from Tesla CEO Elon Musk, filed suit against Disney, accusing them of not only unlawfully terminating her from her role as Cara Dune in the Mandalorian due to nothing more than the company's overall disagreement with her personal political opinions, but also treating her male co-workers, namely Pedro Pascal, the most overrated and talentless hack in Hollywood. And I'm not saying that because of his political opinions. I have felt this for as long as the dude's been around. I do not understand what people see in him. He is the most generic actor of a generation. I digress. Less harshly in regards to their political speech and defaming her in the eyes of the public. Disney's harassment, retaliation, and termination of plaintiff and refusal to hire her for other promised roles were intended to cause injury to Gina Carano, amounted to despicable content undertaken with willful and conscious disregard of plaintiff's rights under California law. And here's the dealio. Under California law, not only is she suing for wrongful termination, not only is she suing for the lost income, she's suing on behalf of sexism discrimination. California, pretty liberal place. California, one of those places that puts women very highly above men on the social hierarchy due to their minority status, despite the fact that it's about 50-50. So yeah, you got a judge, you got an entire legal system in that state that's probably going to be caught between a rock and a hard place because, man, we really do hate conservatives and Republicans, but also we really support championing women. It's actually kind of amazing how they're going to have to wiggle and twist to get out of this one if they want to keep up their veneer of being all about women's rights. It amounted to a despicable content that subjected Carano to cruel and unjust hardship and conscious disregard of her rights, thus supporting punitive damages due to nothing more than the company's overall disagreement with her personal political opinions, but in doing so also defaming her in the eyes of the public, argued the actress' legal term. I love this part right here. Defaming her in the eyes of the public. How many individuals casually watched Mandalorian, casually watched Deadpool, didn't know anything about Gina Carano, didn't know anything about her personal life, her politics, whatnot, and then they were inundated with news story after YouTube video after Facebook post saying, oh my goodness, she's a Nazi, she's a racist. Did you hear what she said about Kyle Rittenhouse? Despite none of that being correct and or relevant at the given time, yes, Gina Carano has been irreparably damaged to the eyes of the public, or at least the sheep public that don't pay pay any attention to what's going on in the real world and haven't bothered to actually look at the facts of the case or facts of what Gina believes or what's going on. I wouldn't even go so far as to call Gina a Republican. A conservative, sure, but not a Republican. But of course, she's been slandered as such because, oh, she has different opinions from mine. She must be a Republican, Nazi, conservative, alt-righter. In response, Disney sought to have this case dismissed on the grounds that, in their opinion, the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution provides them the right to disassociate its own artistic message from Carano's outspoken political beliefs. Now, I was actually wondering about this. When it was stated just a couple of months ago that this was going to be their comeback, their way to throw it out, I actually thought Disney had a chance of rolling with this, being like, look, they're a private company. They can fire her for whatever she wants. If she is saying stuff that could be damaging to the brand, stuff that shouldn't be damaging to the brand, she wasn't saying it that Disney agrees with it. She wasn't saying it in character. It was completely her own personal usage of X. However, I could see there being some sort of twisted legality to where that would work. But lo and behold, no, that's not the case. Disney has a constitutional right not to associate its artistic expression with Carano's speech, such that the First Amendment provides a complete defense to Carano's claims, said the House of Mouse. Carano claims that all are barred by the First Amendment, as the Supreme Court held in Hurley v. Irish American Gay, Lesbian, and Bisexual Group of Boston. That was a mouthful, but not the mouthful those gays are thinking of. The First Amendment embodies a core principle of speaker's autonomy that bars the state from dictating to expressive enterprises what to say, how to say it, and whom to say it through. As the court further held in Boy Scouts of America vs. Dale, oddly enough, that one probably has a bit of relation to the, the gay, lesbian, bisexual aspect, just throwing that out there. That principle means that a state cannot force an employer engaged in speech to speak through an employee whose own views or public profile could compromise the employer's own message, even if the employee does not express her views on the job. That's interesting. So let's break that down. The principle means that a state cannot force an employer engaged in speech to speak through an employee whose own views or public profile could compromise the employer's own message, even if the employee does not express his or her views on the job. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal scholar, but if I'm interpreting this correctly, they cannot force Gina. The state cannot force Disney to have Gina speak whatever political propaganda Disney wants them to. That is my interpretation. I could be completely wrong. If I am, let me know in the comments, but that's how it reads to me. To this end, Disney then affirmed, state law cannot protect employee political activity without violating the employer's free speech rights. This quotation being cited from a 2012 paper by UCLA law professor and constitutional attorney Eugene Volk. What state law cannot do, however, is force entities that do create speech products to speak through writers or singers or actors whose own speech and profile could, in the employer's view, compromise the employer's ability to express itself in its own chosen manner, they declared. So they're taking the reverse aspect. They're saying, because we can't do this, she can't either. She cannot say whatever political opinion she wants without damaging our brand, and if she does, then we are in full rights to fire her. Which, to be fair, again, it's an argument I can see working. It's an argument I disagree with, because at that point, you are a slave to Disney and their ideology. Your Twitter profile, your public Twitter profile that is yours, really isn't yours. It belongs to the House of Mouse Switch, but again, I could see this flying in California, so the fact that it hasn't is actually pretty incredible. Carano's suit contravenes that rule. It is impermissible in effort to invoke state power to override a private entity's decisions about what to say in its own art and how to say it. The complaint should be dismissed. However, it turns out Disney's argument ultimately fell flat, as their petition to dismiss has now been fully denied, as ruled by Los Angeles District Judge Sherilyn Peace Garnett. Not only is this in California, but this is in L.A., where an organization claims protection under the First Amendment's expressive associational right. Words are hard at 2 a.m. A court must determine whether the group engages in expressive association. Here, although Disney has indisputably engaged in expressive activity, including but certainly not limited to producing and disseminating The Mandalorian, they have failed to establish that they engage in expressive association. Furthermore, at this point in the litigation, the court cannot conclude, as defendants urge it to, that Carano's continued employment by the defendants would inhibit or intrude on the defendants' rights to expressive association. So basically, again, assuming I'm understanding this right, Gina being able to say whatever it is that she wants does not inhibit or intrude on Disney's rights to express what they want. Basically, both can say whatever the fuck they want, and they do not correlate to one another. They are not to be looked at as endorsements of one another. Again, not a liar, Let me know. The defendants are not members-only nonprofit organizations, she continued. Instead, defendants are for-profit corporations who, as relevant to this lawsuit, employ actors such as plaintiff as well as administrative staff to create television series and films. No shit. Defendants have not identified any evidence in the complaint or otherwise to substantiate a claim that they employ public-facing actors for the purpose of promoting the values of respect, decency, integrity, or inclusion, said the Honorable Judge Garrett. Accordingly, defendants' invocation of the supposedly detrimental effects of the plaintiff's mere presence as one of the defendant's employees lacks constitutional import. Bro, they're getting slapped with dictionaries right now. Yo, just Gina existing isn't costing you money. That's basically what they're saying. Gina's existence and saying what she wants to say is not an affront to how you run your business. That is awesome. As an initial matter, defendant's argument focuses on narrowly in the determination of plaintiff without addressing her allegations concerning to defendant's pre- or post-termination conduct, much of which lacks any obvious expressive or artistic import. Defendant's affirmative defense is, for this reason alone, far from impenetrable. Following a lengthy deep dive into the specific case laws which factored into her decision, the Honorable Judge Garrett ultimately declared the court thus denies defendant's motion insofar as it argues the right to control their speech bars plaintiff's claims. I cannot believe we are seeing California support free speech, but I ain't gonna look a gift horse in the mouth, even if that horse is probably highly expensive, poorly trained, and on like some sort of vegan diet, because it is in California. In some, defendants have failed to set forth an impenetrable defense under the First Amendment, she concluded. According for the foregoing reasons, the court denies defendant's motion. With this ruling, it appears that barring a settlement between Disney and Carano, the latter's lawsuit is now on the path to a full-on court trial. Notably, not only does this spell trouble for Disney on a legal and reputational level, but it also opens them up to the process of discovery, and that's what Disney should be really worried about. That is my favorite thing about all this. Disney is now going to be open to discovery, and who knows what juicy little tidbits we, the ever so endearing public, are going to find out when it comes to Disney's dirty little secrets being spilled all out on the internet for us to take hold of, grasp, run with. Who knows? This very well could become a Disney Channel here in a little while, because we'll be covering all that dirty laundry. In other words, skeletons in Mickey's closet could soon be seeing their first glimpse of sunlight in a very long time. As of writing, Carano has yet to publicly address her latest legal victory. Well, I don't give a good goddamn what Gina Carano addresses publicly. Like, don't get me wrong, it'd be cool for her to come out and say something, but I don't think she should take an early victory lap. While this is a battle won, the war is very much ongoing, and we all know how the tides can turn. This is in no way, shape, or form a guarantee of success for Gina. It's just a step forward, a step on the right path. But that being said, even if she fails, even if she is denied, if she loses the lawsuit, the information that comes out in discovery could be far more culturally relevant and important than Gina's actual W in the case, should that not come of it. All in all, I cannot wait to see where this goes. You all know I'm a massive Gina Carano fan, so yeah, I'm probably a bit biased. But that being said, it's just objectively clear that she should win. The fact that she was fired for making a political statement that was nearly identical, if not actually more tame than the political statements made by Pedro Pascal, but his applied to the left, which is where Disney has their political leanings. It is disgusting, it is unbalanced, it is completely biased, it is completely partisan, and it needs to be rooted out, stomped out, and if the way to do it is through the courts, even if those courts are infested with left-leaning ideology, that is the best way for the try, and who knows, we could actually be proven wrong that, no, maybe there's hope for California yet. I doubt it, but you know what? I've been wrong before. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, rarely about Disney or Star Wars or anything like that, because I loathe covering it, but usually anime, movies, music, video games, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 80 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity, but only one kind of diversity of thought. So if that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.